Good morning, good afternoon, good evening to all you college coaches and high school football fans across the country and specifically in the state of Texas. My name is Coach Anthony Williams. I'm the founder and CEO of a company called Connected Athletics. We are a business that's in the business of connecting athletes, helping them tell their story, to share their journey about not only who they are on the field, but more importantly, who they are off the field. We all have a great love for the great game of football. Myself as a former player and coach, but one day the game does come to an end. And so we give players a platform to talk about who they are as a player now, and then what they're going to do with their lives when they're done with the game or the game is done with them, whether it's after a college career or a pro career. We've got a very special guest tonight that I want to bring in a second here. But first, I want to thank our sponsors. First sponsor is Sports Bar. Buffalo Wild Wings is a sponsor of the Judson High School Athletic Program and the Booster Club. They are passionate about helping student athletes here in the state of Texas tell their story. And so they're a big partner and sponsor of this podcast. So I want to thank the VP there, Regional VP Brian Soltis. He does a great job. He's a former hockey player in college, and he is very passionate about helping student athletes maximize their sport and eligibility to get the best education they can get. So thank you to Brian Soltis on that. I also want to thank my partners up in Nebraska, Go Edit Graphics. If you are a high school or college program or a club team and you're looking for more dazzling graphics to get out information to your fan base or to your team, schedule changes, press releases, upcoming tournaments, or player spotlights, you need to contact my guys up in Nebraska at Go Edit Graphics. They do a great job of allowing you to customize your graphics to your school colors, your own messaging and content, and really put a personal way of getting the graphics out there to better communicate to your fan base. So shout out to my guys up at Go Edit Graphics. With all that said, let's jump in and talk to this young man who has had a tremendous junior season. Nathaniel Stanley is a class of 24 running back from here, one of the story programs here in the state of Texas, Converse Judson High School. Plays for a good friend of mine, Coach Manny Soto, who just took over that program this year. Nate, how you doing tonight?
I'm doing good. I feel good. So,
Good. I love that you're feeling good, man. So let's jump right in here. You just finished your season. I was at the game last week. You guys had a tough game. You ran into a really good Vandergrift team, but you guys kind of started slow under Coach Soto and then turned it around and got on a winning streak. Tell us a little bit about this past season and what you learned from it.
This past season has been adversity filled. Like we had first week we came out strong against Johnson, then we slipped up for the next 3 weeks, and then after that we had a lock in. There's just a team and coaches we were just talking about how to get better, and after that I feel like we turned on to a whole nother level.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, those lock-ins could be very beneficial when you remove the coaches and the staff and it's just the players. You can get real with each other and be like, guys, we're better than this. I'm sure those were some of the conversations you had. Hey, we're not playing to our standard or to our ability. Were those some of the conversations you guys had in the lock-in?
Yes, sir. It was more of like how to get to the level that we want to be, and things of that nature.
Yeah, I can really tell. And I talked to a couple of people in the media and press and college coaches that reach out to me, and they said, hey, well, what's going on with Judson's record? And I kind of told them, hey, they started a little bit slow. Then they got there, they picked it up, and now they're playing really well. In fact, I talked to Coach Sanders from Vandergrift last week before the game, and he was concerned because he knew that your record did not reflect the amount of talent and hard work put on that team. Talk about that game a little bit. I know it was kind of frustrating for you guys, but like I said, you guys finished going the second round of the playoffs, so there were a lot of positives. Tell us more about the second half of the season from your perspective, Nate.
I feel like our second half of the season was totally different from our first half. Like I said, the first half we started off stumbling, but then the second half we got into our stride. And like Coach Soto, he was talking about getting our stride and springboarding into the playoffs, and I feel like we did that. Going to overtime, having blowouts, wins in district. So I feel like second half of the season was good.
Good. That's good to hear. Hey, let's jump in and talk about your academics. I know you talked to Coach Soto, big on academics there. Talk to me about your academic work, your GPA. What are your favorite classes? Well, let's just start. What's your GPA right now?
3.4.
Okay. And what are some of your favorite classes right now at Judson?
Probably history. History is probably my favorite class.
Okay. Are you taking any AP courses?
No, sir.
Okay.
I'm taking a dual credit English, so it counts as a college credit.
Okay. And then I know you're just a junior now. You just finished your junior season going into next year. Had you kind of thought about 2 years out? Do you have an idea what you might want to major in when you do get to college?
Probably journalism. I'm thinking about journalism or Yeah, pretty much journalism.
Are you thinking about it from like being an author, writing books, or somebody that's maybe a sports journalist? And kind of what specifically you think about with journalism?
But journalism. My
Okay,
fault for not.
no, that's okay. No, did something you want to cover a team, or you want to write stories, or be on ESPN like Stephen A. Smith? I mean, what's the overall end goal?
ESPN probably. Like
Okay, I like it. I like it.
be able to show my personality on TV.
Yeah.
Get insight.
Okay. Tell us, there's always a teacher or a coach or a counselor or maybe an AP that's had an impact on you academically that kind of made you say, hey, you're a good athlete. You got to take care of your grades. Who's the person that had the most influence on you from an academic standpoint?
Probably Miss Cortez, my college career counselor. She been on me about my grades ever since my sophomore year. So.
Nice. Good. I appreciate you shouting her out. Talk to us a little bit about, as you know, Nate, coaching is teaching, and coaches need to understand how their players best learn. Would you consider yourself more of a visual, verbal, or hands-on type of learning style?
Hands on. I feel like because if I run the plays or get the get work done, like writing stuff, then I feel like it makes me more competent on that subject.
Okay. And is it the same on the football field or in the class or on the field or in the position means? Are you more of a hands like coach? Show me. Don't tell me on the whiteboard. Show me what you want me to do. Are you more that way also?
Sure.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's how most of us are, either hands-on or visual. So I like that. We're now kind of past COVID now. I know college coaches are going to be visiting campuses here pretty soon. For a coach that hasn't seen you in class yet, tell these coaches, where do you sit? How do you interact with your teachers? How do you interact with your classmates?
I'm quiet in class. Like if I have a question, then I'll ask. But usually I'm just quiet, get my work done. Um, I'll help out my classmates if they need help, or I ask my classmates if, when I need help. I usually sit in the front by the desk or by the teacher's desk or by the whiteboard.
I love that. I love hearing that, Nate. And for all you players that are out there who didn't hear what Nate said, if you're a true student athlete about that life, about trying to get recruited and getting your education paid for, a college coach, when he comes by the school, he wants to see you sit in the front of the classroom, not in the back. It sends an immediate message to a coach like, okay, this guy's not really serious. So for all you players out there, listen to Nate, sit up front, be interactive. You ain't got to be talkative, but just make sure you're up front and you're locked in the teacher, because that's what coaches want to see. Because if you're not doing it in high school, you're not going to flip a switch and do it in college. So Jane, I appreciate your honesty around that. Hey, let's switch over to learning more about you personally. Tell us about your family, the Stanley family. Are you an only child? What do your parents do? Give us a little background about your family.
I have two siblings. One's an older brother. My older brother, he's in the Army. He's in North Carolina. And then my sister, she's also in the Army. She's in Georgia. And then my mom and dad were both in the Army. My mom was an E9.
Wow.
Military. My dad spent 5 years.
So that's one thing we have in common. I'm an Army brat also. My dad, 32 years in the Army. I was born on an Army base in Frankfurt, Germany, and then we moved all around the country. And I know that life is difficult. Did you move around a lot when you were young?
But not that much because I was born like during the tail end of my mom's Army career. I was
Okay.
born in, and then we moved to South Korea and then moved to Texas.
Okay. Well, we just celebrated Veterans Day, so shout out to your mom, your dad, your brother, and your sister for their service, man. That's a lot of respect. They always remind people, without them doing what they do and sacrificing for themselves, we don't get to do what we do. You playing on Friday nights and me covering great students like yourself. So thank you to the Stanley family and their support there. Tell us, it sounds like you're the baby of the family then?
Yes, sir.
So tell us what's it like? Tell us about the influence that your older brother and sister has had on you.
They taught me how to be tough. 'Cause I used to get bullied. So they taught me how to be tough. Like, don't matter what people say, just do you. And like you, no matter what. And yeah, I get to see like what their mistakes were and how to fix that, how to not do that, or what they did good, how to follow in their footsteps on that aspect and things like that.
Was your brother and sister also athletes? They play sports in high school or anything?
Yes, my sister ran track, and then my brother, he was a football player in Hawaii.
Nice. Okay.
Sure.
What about your parents? Athletes back in the day?
Yes, sir. My mom also ran track, and then my dad, he was a linebacker in North Carolina.
Love it.
Play a line.
Linebacker, you man. That's what I'm talking about. So that's my position. I like that. Nate, tell these coaches who haven't seen your film yet, maybe, and haven't really started to really evaluate you. Give us your height and weight right now.
5'8", 175.
Okay. And then every coach will ask us, so I'm going to save these coaches some time. How tall are your parents?
You said what?
How tall are your parents?
My dad 5'9" and my mom's 5'2".
Okay. What about so you think another growth spurt get tall? Yeah, are your grandparents tall at all or no?
Nah, not really.
Okay.
I might get maybe an inch or maybe two. I'm gonna be short.
Okay. Let me ask it this way. A lot of coaches will ask you this. By the time you get to college, that's 2 years out from now, what do you think your height and weight will be by the time you graduate from Jetson?
Maybe 5'10". I want to say 5'10", 180, 185 around that.
Okay.
That's
the reason why I asked, because obviously nothing against the Jetson program. I know you guys do a great job in your off-season workouts, but you probably understand when you get to college and get into a real college strength conditioning, you're going to add all kind of muscle strength and quickness. And so that's a good size coming out of high school, because by the time you're midway through your college career at running back, you're probably going to be like 5'10", 5'11", probably 205, cut up like a freaking rock, and not losing any speed or quickness. It's a great point, because I've watched you play live. I watched your video, and college coaches, if you have not seen Nate's huddle video from this season, please do yourself a favor. I'm going to post it as part of this podcast. Truly impressive. I know what I see, but before I kind of shine more on you, Nate, tell us what kind of running back. Tell these coaches what kind of running back you are.
I'm patient, so I like to let the hole develop and then hit the hole full speed. And I consider myself a receiving back also, so I can catch the ball at the backfield and get north and south with it.
Yeah. I would add to that list for coaches that are listening. Nate has that unreal talent. He hits the hole when it's there. He's patient when it's not there. When they run traps, he waits for his guys. He's very mature when it comes to when to hit the hole and when to let the hole set up and things. When you watch the video, you'll see that. And I'll tell you the second thing that really impressed me, Nate, is about when you see the hole. I mean, you switch to a gear. You're definitely twitchy. You explode through the hole. And I love how you run behind your pads. You're always finishing your runs going forward. That's something I know a lot of college coaches are going to love when they see your huddle video. And I think my third thing, kind of what you said, you catch the ball in the backfield. But my biggest thing that I saw was that for a lot of these offenses now, there's going to be one guy unblocked. You make that guy that's unblocked miss, and you're second level. And I think that's something that a lot of running backs don't do. You are very, very slippery when it comes to making that guy miss and then turn the Jets on. I mean, those are three things I thought were very impressive about your running back skills. What other positions have you played maybe when you were on sub-varsity or as a freshman?
Receiver, linebacker, and quarterback. I used to play quarterback in middle school.
Okay. And then what about other sports? You a track guy in the spring, playing basketball at all? What else do you do besides football? Say it again.
I said I'm a track guy.
Okay. What events do you run?
Huh?
What events do you run?
The 100 and 200.
Okay. All right.
Sure.
Yeah, as you probably know, and I'm sure Coach Soto has told you, college coaches love football players that run track. I'm not talking about being all conference, being the fast guy, but you're competing in track, working on getting, faster and quicker and stronger. So for those guys out there, for those of you like, I'm just going to work out in the off season, I'm just telling you, college coaches want to hear I play football, I maybe play basketball, but in the spring, I am running track, whether I'm, competing at the district meet or I'm just doing the workouts, but I'm always working on my speed. So I love that you're doing that. Nate, tell us, how long have you been playing football? When did you first start picking up a football and start playing?
7 years old. I've been playing since I was 7. Yeah.
What's your favorite memory of yourself from back in the day when you were playing football? Something that stands out like, I think I'm going to be pretty good at this sport.
Probably when I was 9. That was like my first breakout year, you could say, because I was on this team called the Brahmas, and Coach Vince and them. I had 21 touchdowns that year. I was playing quarterback.
Wow. Jeez. That is a lot. Is there a certain play that sticks out to you that makes you feel like, I'm pretty good? You jump over somebody or go for 90 yards. What's your favorite memory?
Probably when I got this kickoff return. So I remember I got it. It's on my mom's Facebook, but I got it out of miss, and I just cut it up and scored.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah.
Tell me, every player has a either college or pro player that they kind of like to model their game after. Who's a college or pro running back that you're like, hey, that's what I want my game to look like? Who do you look up to?
Le'Veon Bell.
Okay.
Like,
I love that.
uh,
Yeah, Le'Veon Bell in his prime, patient, hit the hole, and then dust. You're grabbing at his cleats and stuff. So that's a really great comparison. Tell us a little bit about Nate. How would your Judson teammates describe you as a teammate?
uh, I feel like they'll describe me as a leader, like as a leader that leads by example. Like I'm
Mm-hmm.
not one of the guys that's gonna talk a lot, but I just lead by example, do the right things, get the job done. Yeah.
Okay. Another thing that we don't talk about a lot in recruiting is trust. There's trust that you have to be on a successful team. There's trust between player to player, teammate to teammate, and then there's trust between player and coach. How important is trust to you and trust within the Judson Rocket program?
Trust is everything. Because like if I don't trust my O-line to get their blocks right,
Right.
then be successful. If I don't trust Elijah to throw the ball on the hot route, then we're not gonna be successful. If I can't trust Coach Sutter to call the right plays, then we're not gonna move the football. You know what I'm saying? So trust when it comes to the sport.
Yeah. Obviously, this for those coaches that may not know, and everybody does know about the Rocket program, but Judson's had a Hall of Fame of players, alumni who've come through there at all positions. What's it like to play at a program that has won so many state championships and has put so many players at the college and pro level?
It's pressure because I want to live up to that standard. We talk about living up to the Rocket standard every day, pretty much. I'm trying to just on a day-to-day basis live up to that standard and like conduct my business to that high of standard. So
Yeah. Tell us a little bit about playing with some other elite athletes. You had Anthony Evans, you had a lot of other guys on that team. What's it like to play with other guys? Yeah, I might be playing with or against one of my teammates when we get to college. What's that feel like for you?
I try to take everything from them. Like, well, I mean by take everything, like compete against them and learn things from them. Like
Right.
how to do that, try to better my game and help my team win.
Okay. Every coach Nate loves, and I watched you during pregame Friday night against Vandergrift and saw how you just interact. Every coach loves leadership, but leadership looks differently to different people. How would you define your leadership as a player, as a junior this year?
Like I said, it's like I'm a lead by example guy. I'm not the guy that's yelling, not the guy that's screaming, not the guy that's talking a lot. Just lead by example. Hey man, let's go. Come on, pick it up. You know what I'm saying? One of the type of guys.
Okay. Tell me, which player are you? There's two types of players in pregame. There's the one who's bouncing the music, getting all hype, and then the other one is a player that's in the corner, just kind of going through the game in its head. Which one are you? How do you get ready for pregame?
Mostly both. I'm listening to music. Also in the corner, just all by myself. Like game days, I'm by myself. I don't like talk to nobody, and just by myself. Think about the plays, go over maybe a little bit more film. That's it.
Okay. Well, you just finished a very successful junior year, over 20 touchdowns, over 1,300 all-purpose yards, a very successful junior year. But what do you have in store? What can the Rocket fans and college coaches look for next year for you as a senior? What are your goals for next year?
My goal next year is to take the lid off, just to be big of my game. I feel like I could have done better this year, but next year I'm trying to take the lid off, be better in everything, like tenfold.
Okay. Well, as we move forward, as we mentioned earlier, you're now in the crosshairs. You're right in the middle of the recruiting, calendar. You finished your junior year. I know it's just finished last Friday, but have you started making plans for where you're going to camp at? What combines you can go to? What schools that you're interested in? Give us a little bit of background about your recruiting as you finish up your junior year.
For the camps, I'm mainly focusing on the schools that have interest in me. So TCU, AV, schools that have interest in me. I'm trying to get up to Houston, and I want to get up to Kansas State again.
Okay, I like it. And then as far as visiting those schools, have you started doing research? Because I always talk to players like, Coach, I want to go to these schools. I'm like, have you researched? Do they have your major? Are you familiar with the culture and the demographics there? Have you started kind of doing that kind of work? Do you understanding what those schools are going to provide for you away from the football field?
Yeah, but I'm gonna start doing my research in a little bit.
Yeah. Okay, good. I like it. Okay. Finishing up here, tell us about mental toughness. You know what? I like to talk about mental health. You know, it's something that we used to not talk about. Back in my era, you couldn't talk about, man, I'm not feeling it today, or I'm a little depressed, got a lot of homework. How do you handle the stress of today's world of social media, practice, homework, family responsibilities? Maybe you have a girlfriend. How do you as a player manage all that to make sure you're executing in each one of those phases?
Um, I just take time to myself. So like I'm more of a loner. So I
Mm-hmm.
just take time, think about everything, maybe like not talk to people for a whole day, not be on my phone for like a couple hours, 5 hours, 6 hours. So that's how I deal with stuff.
Okay, I like it. As long as you have, hey, your players that are out there, it's a real thing. Don't talk about, hey, no, I can't be talking about mental health. That shows weakness, guys. It's real, especially with this generation. As much as you guys are in the social media and everything, you've got to find a way to kind of, as Nate just talked about, block things out and kind of get back to yourself and refocus on what you got to get done as far as your homework and going to practice and executing things like that. So that's great advice, Nate. Hey, let's finish up. We talked about it before we came on here about your elevator pitch. Take 30 seconds, look in the camera, tell these college coaches that are already on you and some that are not on you yet. Tell them why they should recruit you and what you're going to bring to their program.
You should recruit me because I'm a hard worker. I'm gonna do everything that in my power to get the program to succeed and live up to program standards. And I'm not gonna be one of the players that's always an issue with the grades or with the attitude. I'm humble and I'm ready to work.
I love it. That's a great elevator pitch. Nate, man, I am so excited for you. Once again, another great junior year. I'm looking forward to you tearing the lid off for next year because I know that team's going to be talented under a second year under Coach Soto, have much different results from this year. I'll probably be seeing you probably coming up here at the National Combine, some other events. If you ever need anything, man, just reach out to me. I don't charge any services. I'm not a service. I just love helping kids maximize their dream. Football has been great for me. It's helped me get my degree, my MBA. I live a great life, and I want that for all kids. So if you ever need anything, man, reach out to me. If you just need somebody to talk to or to vent to, man, I'm here for you, man. I'm so proud of you. Thank you to your parents and your brothers and sisters for their service. And, enjoy your Thanksgiving holiday with your family, okay?
Yes, sir. You too.
All right, man. We'll talk soon. Thanks.
Yes, sir.